when you're on a spiritual journey, there'll be things that you start to see that you can't unsee, or there'll be things that you start to experience that you can't deny. And I think the more spiritual you become, the more centered you become, is the more honest you will be forced to become with yourself about your life. And things that don't satisfy you anymore, things that are kind of falling by the wayside, you're going to have to learn to just let them fall and to be able to move on. Because I've noticed on the spiritual journey, I think like the Hermit card in the tarot, it can be a bit, sometimes a lonely journey, because of the fact that you have to sometimes let go of things, because your soul is growing, your spirit is growing. And it's like, as you advance, as your soul advances, and it's like you're experiencing these new things, your life is going to have to change. It's going to have to change in some way, shape, or form. Because it's almost like, for instance, what's the right way of putting it? I think the best way of putting it um, is sort of being like a chicken, like being like an unborn chicken in an egg. It's like you're always gonna reach the point where where the chicken is too big to be in that egg anymore. The same way if you're pregnant with a baby, the baby is always gonna reach a size at some point where that baby is going to have to come out, because it can't stay in there forever and just keep on growing and keep on growing. It's like after a while, especially on your spiritual journey, you're gonna find that your life, the life you was living, just becomes closed in for you. It's like you've expanded greater than where you're currently are right now in your life. And so now it's almost like you just feel trapped in, and you're like, okay, this isn't right for me anymore. It felt right for me before, but now I can't deal with this situation anymore. I can't stay in this anymore because it doesn't resonate with me. And then you just find that you have to be free of it. And I think if you don't move, if you don't break free of it, then you will find yourself trapped in a state of depression, and it will get worse. And so what I had to tell myself was that, you know what, I have to move. Something has to give. I can't be stuck here. And so I just told myself from last year, even I began it, but this year I had to step it up a notch. I had to tell myself that I'm going to experience new things. I'm going to do things that make me feel uncomfortable. I'm going to do things I've never done before. I'm going to experience everything that life has to offer in terms of me growing and expanding and evolving. And that has been a process. That has been challenging at times, because who wants to do stuff that makes them feel uncomfortable? Who wants to do stuff that they've never done before? Because a lot of the time you don't know how it's going to turn out, so then you're fearful and all this other stuff, or you're thinking, oh, what people think of me, and then all that other stuff. But it's what really counts and what really matters is that you are moving forward. No energy is supposed to be stuck and stagnant. Nothing is supposed to be stagnant. The same way, the earth spins on its axis, the same way, the earth revolves around the sun. Like, everything is always in flow. Basically everything is always moving. The tide moves in and out. Air is always moving. Everything is always moving. So we have to do the same thing. We have to move. We have to change. We have to do things differently. We can't always be stuck in the same situation, because then it's just you, you're just like in a prison, you know. And I know that is there's a lot of risk involved in change. There's a lot of risk. I mean, the funny thing that I discovered not that long ago is my life path number is the number 5. And the number 5 is all about change. All about change. People that are have the life path number 5, they constantly need things to be changing. They constantly need new experiences, in their life to make them feel alive and feel like, yeah, things are moving in a direction. And I understand, especially for me, that when things aren't moving, um it really, I can really feel it within myself, um how unhappy I become when things just aren't in flow. And to be honest, I think that even though I linked it to my life path number, I think that generally people tend to feel like that. I think generally people are desperate for change. People want things to be different in their lives. But again, there's always that stagnation that sometimes we go through, that blocks everything. And the thing is that we have to be brave enough, we have to be courageous enough to bust out of it and to make things move, to create the life we want, to make ourselves happy, to make ourselves feel like, yeah, this is my life and I am happy with where I'm currently at. You have to move some things, you have to change some things, and you have to take some risks. Things may not work all the time. It may not. You may fall on your face, but you think to yourself, do you know what? Even if I fall on my face, that was my experience to have. At least I've learned something out of the situation, even if it doesn't work. And at least, I know within myself that I'm brave enough to do something different and to take a risk. And at least for that alone, I can commend myself. So what I would say to anyone that is really resonating with this message, I would say that do what you need to do. Ask yourself those hard questions. And I think the hard questions are always, what is it that my soul truly desires right now in my life? What is it that is truly going to give me the happiness that I seek in my life? What is that? And I think the first answer that comes out more than likely will be the one that truly is what you're supposed to do in your life. And I did say that in the reading as well, but I think that it's really important. Um, it's really important that that we're not afraid. The books that I read recently really helped me with that. I read The Alchemist, and I also ordered, it hasn't come yet, Veronica Veronica Wants to Die, Veronica Dies, something like that. This is written by the same author as The Alchemist, but I'm going to be reading that when it comes. And The Traveler's Gift I read as well, and I love those books. I love those books because I think that if you are a person that you are feeling afraid of making changes, I think, and you haven't read The Alchemist, I think it will be a really, really, really good book for you to read, because I could really connect with the character in the book. Um, Sometimes we have to go on that adventure. I don't want to ruin the book for anyone if they haven't read it, but sometimes we have to go on that adventure to the unknown in order to live, in order to feel alive. And I think that's what life is about. Life is about feeling alive. It's about having experiences that make you feel energized, that make you feel excited, that make you feel like, yeah, like I'm here and I'm just enjoying the moment and I'm just in awe by everything, and I'm just feeling amazing. Like I can feel the air in my lungs, I can feel everything around me, and I'm just feeling so connected with everything. And I truly think that that is what life should be about for everyone. But I think that for a lot of us, that's not what we experience. And to me, we can only experience the true essence of life if we are prepared to take those risks, if we're prepared to make changes, if we're prepared to do what it takes to feel different and to feel like we are alive, you know?